Hey Gunners, today I'm going to be telling you about Emile Smith Rowe. Just the truth about him and what can we expect from the future. Is he going to leave the club? Is he going to stay? And what's best for him, but also us, because he is our number 10. There was so much high hopes for him, and there's still so much high hopes for him now. But I just feel as though there needs to be a decision to be made about his future so he can progress. But before I begin, make sure you've liked this video and that you've subscribed and that you've turned on notifications. There's a lot of content coming that I'm sure you do not want to miss out on. But without further ado, let's start. And the place I want to start with Emile Smith Rowe is just his injuries. You know, he's had a horrible injury-ridden career so far with us. Let me just read it out. In the 23-24 season, he missed 46 days of football through 2 injuries, which is 10 games, which is quite a lot. In the 22-23 season, absolutely wretched. He missed 21 games of football through 1 reoccurring injury and issue. And then we go back to the 2021 season. He missed 91 days, had 1 injury and missed 30 games. And then the season before that, 2019-20, he missed 141 days of football through 2 injuries, which is equivalent to 36 games, his worst injury-ridden season as a professional footballer. Then 18-19, he missed 210 days of football and had 4 injuries and missed 35 games of football. So it is quite ridiculous. The funny thing is actually that each year he has actually reduced the amount of games he's missing. Last season, Arteta thought that they found the issue that had really been, affecting him. But it seems as though he just can't seem to get these injuries off him. And it's such a shame because most of his best play comes through running with the ball. And a lot of the injuries he gets is from running with the ball. We've also got to factor in that the growth spurt he has had a massive impact on his body. You know, it's really hard for a player to adjust to their growth spurt. So we've got to really think about that, because Emile Smith Rowe, he was around 5'9". He's now nearly around 6 feet tall, nearly as tall as Declan Rice. So it is ridiculous. There's a lot of things happening with his body, and it's just about him adjusting. And he hasn't adjusted well. That's the truth about it. And it's such a shame, because when his Smith Rowe is in his best form, when he's running with that ball, there's so much excitement. He did play this season. I think I can really remember that one game against Luton and also against Brentford in the Carabao Cup. That was a really good performance. Being out injured, whether that be just the players in front of him performing better, we just haven't seen him had the game time or gather that consistency he needs. And it hurts me as an Arsenal fan to see this, because he came through Hale End and he really burst onto the scene. He was really our saviour when we're thinking about it, really. We were struggling. Smith Rowe comes in on Boxing Day, and I think that's the biggest turning point in Mikel Arteta's managerial career. And I'm not sure you guys remember, but it was Bournemouth, then it was also against Newcastle at home, where he had 2 opportunities, and it just seems like everybody's trying to just ensure he doesn't score. It's like he has brilliant finishing ability, one of his most underrated traits for me, and that's why I want him in the 8 role, because I really think when the balls drop in and around the box, he can be a fox in the box, finish it off. He's also got brilliant running ability, underlapping, overlapping, and I think Saka needs that on that side. But when he missed those chances, you just saw the devastation in his face. It just felt like everything just was going wrong for him. And it's such a shame, because I think confidence is a massive part of Emile Smith Rowe. He needs that confidence. He needs to know that people are confident in him for him to be able to perform at the best of his abilities. And I think whilst we're on that point about the best of his abilities, I do think, like I've said, his best role is the number 8. I think left wing as well. I think I'm really disappointed we didn't see him play on the left more times, because Martinelli had an off season. Trossard was I love Trossard, I really do, but he's really hasn't got that pace we need on that side of the pitch. Our tactic is to draw players in towards Saka's side, then switch it quickly to Martinelli when he was in his best form to then run and terrorise the fullback. But Trossard, he's a bit more nifty with his feet rather than quick, and that can really affect our game at some stages and some points. So I think if Smith Rowe was over there, he's a lot quicker. He's really good on the ball. I think it really would have caused a lot of problems to the opposition, especially in those games where we found it quite tough to break down those low blocks, mid blocks, whatever you want to call it. But yeah, let me know in the comment section down below what's What's your thing about Smith Rowe? Where do you think his best position is? Is it left? Is it on the right? Is it in the 8? Is it false 9? Where would you put Smith Rowe in the team? Or are you going to be one of them people saying we've got to sell him? And that's my next discussion point here. Is it over for Smith Rowe? Because the longer he's on that bench, the longer he loses value. And football is about business sometimes. You've got to factor in players losing their value over time. We want to maximize the players we have, and if we can't put them in the lineup, then let's sell them for a higher price. For me, I still believe in Smith Rowe. I give him next season. I think that next season is the most important season in his career as an Arsenal player if he wants to stay here, because I think we're now at that next level. We need availability. Your ability is great, but if you're not available, then what's the point? We've seen it with Thomas Partey. Him not being available has really changed my outlook on him, because he's a quality player. Definitely need him in the side, but if you're injured for half the season or basically all the season, then what's the point? And then there also comes a point for Smith Rowe as well. His career, he knows that he's good enough to be starting for a lot of clubs. So at what point do you go as a player and say, I want to be playing week in, week out, I want to leave, I want to get some minutes, I want to take my career to the next level? So we've got to factor that in. For me, I'd seen 35-40 million would be enough for him. And Arteta is a massive fan of Smith Rowe. I think this is another thing. He's in absolute awe of him. Training sessions, he says Smith Rowe is absolutely fantastic. And you just see that general admiration towards him, because obviously Smith Rowe was one of the players that saved his job. So there's always going to be that love towards Smith Rowe, but we don't see it with the opportunities. He's not playing minutes that would suggest he is loved by Arteta. Maybe he's just trying to prevent another injury or whatever it may be, but it's not good for both parties really at this point. And it's just really interesting what happens this summer. I would be disappointed to see him go, but then I'll be understanding if a 35-40 million bid came. You've got to take it from a business point of view, but also from Smith Rowe's point of view. But yeah, just let me know in the comments. Are you for selling Smith Rowe? Are you for keeping Smith Rowe? Now, I don't want you to be emotional with this comment. I see a lot of people say, oh, you're just blah, blah, blah. No, let's be a lot more, calculated with the way we see Smith Rowe's future as an Arsenal player. And I just want to end the video just talking about the stats of Smith Rowe. I think this is an important thing. If we look at the 21-22 season, I'm going to look at that one because that is his best season. I think at the beginning of the season, I remember going to the Aston Villa Arsenal game. Smith Rowe was absolutely incredible in that game. He started that season scoring so many goals. You were just like, this guy is absolutely unreal. He ended up the season with 12 goals and assists combined in 33 games. Again, another injury had him that season. And it's a shame because he really looked like we'd finally got Smith Rowe playing consistently without injuries, and we're seeing his best form. Then he gets injured, but I think that season shows what he's about. Quick feet, brilliant dribbling, really good decision making. He knows when to shoot, when to pass. His ball striking, I love it. I've said this a lot in a lot of videos. Ball striking is so important to me. Smith Rowe has that. So when we're taking into account his profile, which we don't really have in the squad, we haven't got midfielders who can drive with the ball aside from Declan Rice. Smith Rowe is one player who can drive with the ball. So when you take all of this into consideration, you just got to surely keep him. You've got to really trust him next season, given the opportunity. We've got a lot of games, Carabao, FA Cup, Champions League, Premier League. I think Arteta managing the squad will be really important. But I know what Smith Rowe is about. Brilliant footballer. And yeah, I think next season is really crucial for him. But yeah, gunners, that's it for now. I hope you enjoyed this video. Let me know what's your thoughts on Smith Rowe. Sell him, keep him. How much would you sell him for? Have you had enough with his injuries? Wherever that may be. But of course, like, subscribe, turn on notifications. And without further ado, peace.